Hello, Year 5 or Year 6, and here we are. We've got an image, and I wonder if you know what the image is going to be. What do you think it is? You might want to pause and have a think. I'll just move it along. Oh, can you see what it is now? What do you think it might be? Have a think. Maybe write down some of your thoughts. What do you think it is now? Just pause me and then tell somebody, or tell your mother or your father, or have a think to yourself. What about now? What do you think it is here? Remember, we were looking at factors that shape places, and we've already looked at the Dust Bowl and how humans created it. People created the Dust Bowl in America. That was over farming. So what are we looking at here? Okay, what do you think it is now? What do you see? Thanks very much. What do you see? What about this? What do you think now? What can you see in the background? What can you see in the foreground? What's this down here? There's obviously something down there at the side, isn't there? Okay. What do you think it is? I wonder what you think is going on in this picture. By all means, pause me and have a look. And I might do the reveal. Oh no, just kidding. I will remove the final block. Okay. What we have here, guys, is some traditional Aboriginal burning, and we're going to have a brief look at that today. Traditional Aboriginal burning. Okay, now this is going to be in the assessment, so this is quite important. So you will be taking down these notes that I'm going to read to you, so make sure you do that. Okay, why? Why do Aboriginals, Indigenous Australians, use traditional Aboriginal burning? Indigenous Australians would use the fire to drive wildlife out of the bush to allow locals to capture and hunt the animals. Word for word, so you can write that down and make sure you understand that. Okay, I hope you've paused me, and I hope you have written that down. The effect, what effect would this burning have? Well, this would clear the environment, and it would clear the bushland, leaving behind burnt grass. And of course, the animals would come out of the fire because they're trying to get away from the fire, and it'd be easier to capture. But one of the results would be you'd have burnt grass, you'd have very low grass, and obviously no shrubs left either. Okay, because they should have been burnt away. Okay, how would this shape the land? Because remember, that's what we're looking at in geography this term, this year. How it would shape the land. So what did traditional Aboriginal burning do to the land? In fact, what does it do to the land? Because it still happens today. Okay, trees and trees and grasses that could quickly regenerate from fires dominate the landscape. So when you go to places that practice traditional Aboriginal burning, you will notice there are gum trees, there is fairly tough shrubs, there is grasslands. There are not roses, there are not lovely petals and lovely gentle delicate flowers. There are the sorts of plants that can bounce back quickly after a fire, that can regenerate, just like Wolverine, they can regenerate quickly after a fire because they're the only ones that can continually survive because the Aboriginals and the Indigenous Australians do use fire in order to shape the land for their hunting purposes. So the landscape is shaped in that manner. It's full of plants that can regenerate quickly after a fire. And of course, other plants do not survive. They do not come back, and if they start to come back, they are quickly burnt away. uh, for weeks after a burn, furthermore, for weeks after a burn, the grass would be low, and there would be no thick bushes, which is of course ideal for hunting, and another reason why the Aboriginals, the Indigenous Australians, would burn the land in order to make it a great place to hunt afterwards. So do make sure you get down these notes. Pause me and make sure you get down these notes. I do want these pictures in your book as well, so you can just neatly, roughly draw those. Don't spend too long. It's not an art lesson. I'll just go through that again quickly for you. Why traditional Aboriginal burning? Indigenous Australians would use fire to drive wildlife out of the bush to allow locals to capture and hunt the animals. What's the effect? This would clear the environment and clear the bushland, leaving behind burnt grass. And how would this shape the land? Trees and grasses that could quickly regenerate from fires dominated the landscape. Other plants did not. For weeks after a burn, the grass would be low and there would be no thick bushes, ideal for hunting. And I'm aware I've written all this in the past tense, but it actually happens today. It still happens very much in Australia today. Okay, this is important. It is in your assessment. Thanks for watching.